the defendant's exploitation of the violence and chaos at the Capitol. Shortly before 1 p.m., the Vice President issued a public statement explaining that his role as President of the Senate at the certification proceeding that was about to begin did not include unilateral authority to determine which electoral votes should be counted and which should not. Before Trump had finished speaking, a crowd began to gather at the Capitol. Thereafter, a mass of people, including individuals who had traveled to Washington and to the Capitol at Trump's direction, broke through barriers, cordoning off the Capitol grounds, and advanced on the building, including by violently attacking law enforcement officers trying to secure it. Trump, who had returned to the White House after concluding his remarks, watched events at the Capitol unfold on the television in the dining room next to the Oval Office.
At 2:13 p.m., after more than an hour of steady, violent advancement, the crowd at the Capitol broke into the building. Upon receiving news that individuals had breached the Capitol, Trump's advisors told him there was a riot there and that rioters had breached the building. When advisors urged Trump to issue a calming message aimed at the rioters, Trump refused, instead repeatedly remarking that the people at the Capitol were angry because the election had been stolen. At 2:24 p.m., after advisors had left Trump alone in his dining room, Trump issued a tweet intended to further delay and obstruct the certification. Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution, giving states a chance to certify a corrected set of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones which they were asked to previously certify. USA demands the truth.
At the Capitol, throughout the afternoon, members of the crowds chanted, "Hang Mike Pence! Where is Pence? Bring him out! And Traitor Pence!" Trump repeatedly refused to approve a message directing rioters to leave the Capitol, as urged by his most senior advisors, including the White House counsel, a deputy White House counsel, the chief of staff, a deputy chief of staff, and the senior advisor. Instead, Trump issued 2 tweets that did not ask rioters to leave the Capitol, but instead falsely suggested that the crowd at the Capitol was being peaceful, including, at 2:38 p.m., "Please support our Capitol police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of the country. Stay peaceful." And at 3:13 p.m., "I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you."
At 3 p.m., Trump had a phone call with the minority leader of the United States House of Representatives. Trump told the minority leader that the crowd at the Capitol was more upset about the election than the minority leader was. At 4:17 p.m., Trump released a video message on Twitter that he had just taped in the White House Rose Garden. In it, Trump repeated the knowingly false claim that we had an election that was stolen from us, and finally asked the individuals to leave the Capitol while telling them that they were very special and that we love you.
After the 4:17 p.m. tweet, as Trump joined others in the outer Oval Office to watch the attack on the Capitol on television, Trump said, "See, this is what happens when they try to steal an election. These people are angry. These people are really angry about it. This is what happens." At 6:01 p.m., Trump tweeted, "These are the things and events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Go home with love and in peace. Remember this day forever." On the evening of January 6, Trump and co-conspirator 1 attempted to exploit the violence and chaos at the Capitol by calling lawmakers to convince them, based on knowingly false claims of election fraud, to delay the certification, including Trump, through White House aides, attempted to reach 2 United States senators at 6 p.m. From 6:59 p.m. until 7:18 p.m., co-conspirator 1 placed calls to 5 United States senators and 1 United States representative. Co-conspirator 6 attempted to confirm phone numbers for 6 United States senators whom Trump had directed co-conspirator 1 to call and attempt to enlist in further delaying the certification.
In one of the calls, Co-conspirator 1 left a voicemail intended for a United States senator that said, "We need you, our Republican friends, to try to just slow it down so we can get these legislatures to get more information to you. And I know they're reconvening at 8 tonight, but the only strategy we can follow is to object to numerous states and raise issues so that we get ourselves into tomorrow, ideally until the end of tomorrow." In another message intended for another United States senator, co-conspirator 1 repeated knowingly false allegations of election fraud, including that the vote counts certified by the states to Congress were incorrect, and that the governors who had certified knew they were incorrect, that illegal immigrants had voted in substantial numbers in Arizona, and Georgia gave you a number in which 65,000 people who were underage voted. Co-conspirator 1 also claimed that the vice president's actions had been surprising and asked the senator to object to every state and kind of spread this out a little bit like a filibuster.
At 7:01 p.m., while Conspirator 1 was calling United States senators on behalf of Trump, the White House counsel called Trump to ask him to withdraw any objections and allow the certification. Trump refused. The attack on the Capitol obstructed and delayed the certification for approximately 6 hours until the Senate and House of Representatives came back into session separately at 8:06 p.m. and 9:02 p.m. respectively, and came together in a joint session at 11:35 p.m.
At 11:44 p.m., co-conspirator 2 emailed the Vice President's counsel advocating that the Vice President violate the law and seek further delay of the certification. Co-conspirator 2 wrote, quote, "I implore you to consider one more relatively minor violation of the ECA and adjourn for 10 days to allow the legislatures to finish their investigations, as well as to allow a full forensic audit of the massive amount of illegal activity that has occurred here," end quote. At 3:41 a.m. on January 7th, as President of the Senate, the Vice President announced the certified results of the 2020 presidential election in favor of Biden. Trump and his co-conspirators committed one or more of the acts to affect the object of the conspiracy, alleged above, in paragraphs above, in violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 371.